Hello everyone. In today's video we will be covering the fish shapes from the Speed Solving Wiki, and there's two kinds of these. There's two where you have a full square and then you have one corner oriented. So these two have full squares and a corner oriented, and then this one you only have a J or an L case plus a oriented corner. And I'm not quite sure why they included these in the fish shapes, but this one's actually very similar to this one. So we'll go over all three of these cases, and this is the only J case with one single corner oriented. So when you know you get a L or a J case and you have a single corner oriented, then you know it's this case. On the other two, it's easy to recognize which one's which because you'll have a square and your corner oriented correctly, and then on the side you'll either have two bars, so here's a bar and here's a bar, or you'll have some dots. So you have two dots or two bars. So that's how you tell the difference between these two cases. And for this one, if you get a J or an L case with a single corner oriented, then you know you have this case. Let's get started. The first case we're going to cover is actually part of the Y perm and part of the T perm, and this is the case where you have your square and one oriented corner, and then you'll have the two bars. And this one's really easy to recognize. And there's two ways to solve this case, and they're both relatively easy. The first way we're going to solve this case is we're going to perform a hedge slammer to remove a pair. So we'll perform a hedge slammer to remove a pair. And if you don't know what a hedge slammer is, I go over that in my beginner's F2L video. So again, we will hedge slammer, so you will take a pair out with a hedge slammer, and then you'll just reinsert this pair like a normal pair. So again, hedge slammer and normal insertion will solve this case. So if we hedge slammer, normal insert, we'll solve that case. And the other way to solve this case is if you perform an F move, and then you place this pair here, move the top layer over one, and then put this pair back to where it was, and then undo your F move. So again, and I'll put the algs down here, but if we F move, undo your, so we'll F move, we'll place this pair here, we'll move the top face over one, and then we'll put this back where it was, and then fix your cross. So one more time, F, place this here, move the top layer over one, put this back, undo your F move. And that will also solve this case. And this is, you'll recognize this if you know the Y perm or the T perm because this is part of it. The T and the Y perm are two OLL cases, and you either do the first part and the second part or the second part and the first part. So this is part of both of those cases, but what we'll do is we'll F, put this here, move your top face over one, and then put this back, then undo, and that will solve that case as well. Those two algs in particular are good to know because you can always get a skip case if you see two bars on the top here. So if you see this is a pair, so this would be the red, blue, yellow pair, and this is the red, green, yellow pair. And you can tell it's going to be a skip case is if these two colors are the opposite, then doing one of those cases will always give you a skip case. So in order to force a skip case on this, when you have a pair here and a pair here, and these colors are opposite, well, these two colors will also be the opposite of this one. And you can always get a skip case when you see this scenario, and buy one of those two algs. And which one you do is based on how you orient your pair. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to orient it in a way that you can see so these two colors are your blue and your green. Well, the other two sets of colors are your orange and your red, so you need to orient it so you can see all three of one of the other colors. So in this case, here's an orange, orange, and an orange. So you can't see three oranges or three reds, you can't see three oranges or three reds, and there's your three oranges and three reds. But in our case, what we want to do is we want to orient it so we can see all three, and this island piece that's oriented correctly is in the front row. So here you can see all three oriented correctly, but your oriented island piece is not in the front row, so we're going to move it until we can see it in the front row. And the reason this is so difficult to recognize is because the skip cases for both of these are very similar. So here's the two cases that we'll skip, and they're almost identical, right? The only real difference is if you look at your block, you'll have either a pair back here, so here's your blue, orange, yellow pair, or you'll have a pair on the left-hand side, your orange. But it doesn't matter what the colors are. You just have a pair in the back of your block, or you'll have a pair on the left of your block. So here's the left pair, and here's the back pair. And you can tell they look almost exactly the same, but the color scheme's just a little bit different. So the only way I can tell how to recognize this is if we put our island piece in the front row and orient it in a way that you can see all three of your pieces. So you might have to do a left-hand version of these algs to get your skip case, but if knowing this will get you a skip case, and it's worth knowing. So here's it's blue and green on top, so you're looking for your other three of your other color when this is in the front. So this is in the front and you can't see three of your own color, so here's three in the front. So in the other scenario, we'll put this in the front. Here's our green and blue, so we're looking for red or orange on the side, and I only see two reds, so I'm going to move it over here, and then now I can see three oranges. So in this case I would do the left-hand version of our case. The case we're going to do to always get a skip case in this scenario is the F, put this here, move the top layer one, put this back, and then undo your F move. So if we do that, so in this case, here's our orange, orange, orange. This is in the front, so we're going to perform the F on this side. So we'll do an F, put this pair here, move the top over one, put this pair back, undo your F move, and that will skip your case for you. So in this case, or in this scenario, here's your bar and a bar, and you can tell that you don't see all three of your reds, so you move it to the other position and look at the other two sides, and then here's an orange, orange, and orange. So now we'll do our F on this side, place this here, move the top over one, put this back, and then solve, and that gets your skip case. So anytime you see a square and an oriented corner, and these are your bar case, and these two are pairs, so these two are the same color and these two are the same color, and then these colors are opposite, you can skip no matter what. You just have to know how to orient it so that you can skip. So if you look, put this in one of the front positions, and then look at the two sides. So in this case I can't see three reds, so I'll put it here and then look at these two sides, and oh, okay, well here's my orange, orange, and orange, so I know that if I do that F1 I can skip. So I'll F, place this here, move the top layer over one, place this back, undo your F, and that will skip your case. So these two in particular are important to know how to generate skips, because this is a pretty frequent case, especially if you do some EO. Here's your, in this case there's red and orange, so now on the sides we're looking for blue and green. So we put it in the front, we don't see blue or green, so we'll put it on this side, and then oh, here's green, green, and green. So we're going to perform our F on this side, on the island piece, put this here, move the top face, put this back, and then undo, and that gives you your skip case. So the skip case is important to know, but really the two algs that we're using are F move, place this here, move your top layer, and the direction you're moving your top layer is the direction that we're going, so the direction that you just put your pair in, and then put your pair back, and then undo your F, and that solves it. So, and then for this one I always regrip, so I always just regrip down, put it here, move the top layer over one, place it back to where it was, and then push it back into place. So here's this scenario. We know we're going to get a skip because we have these two, and so three oranges, F, and the other one is you take it out with a hedge slammer and then you reinsert it. Take it out with a hedge slammer, reinsert it, take it out with a hedge slammer and reinsert it. And for this one to get a skip case, you basically do the opposite. So in this one you're looking for all three. Well, now we're not looking for all three, we're looking for not all three, right? So if that makes sense. So here's our 3 oranges. So normally we would do the F version on this one, but to get the skip case using the other algorithm, you look for just the 2. So it's in the front, here's just the 2, so we're going to perform a hedge slammer here, and then reinsert, and that will also skip your case. So anytime you see that case and you have 2 bars next to each other, or 2 pairs next to each other, and they're opposite colors, you know you can get a skip. It just depends on which alg you want to use to skip. The next case we're going to cover is case number 35, and that's when you have your square and an oriented corner, but instead of having 2 next to each other, you'll have 2 dots. So you have 2 dots, and then your other 2 will be here. And with this one, all we're going to do is we're going to take a pair out with, and I always do the left-hand version because I'm a little better with U2s, am I right? So, but you can do this with the right-hand version as well. So you take a pair out with a U2, so you take a pair out with a U2, we're going to sledgehammer this pair here, and then we're going to reinsert this with the U2. And that's all we're doing. So take it out with the U2, sledgehammer, reinsert with the U2. And how you orient this is you place it, your square in the front, and you put your corner piece in the back, and the pair that you're going to start taking out is caddy corner from your corner piece. So if your corner piece is here, you start with this pair. If your corner piece is here, you start with this pair. So for this one, we'll take this out with the U2. We'll sledgehammer this pair here, and then we'll reinsert this with the U2. So in order to do that, you have to lift this up, insert, and then down. And that solves your case. So again, take it out with the U2, sledgehammer, insert with U2. Take it out with the U2, sledgehammer, insert with the U2. And it's completely gripless. You are just move this, U2 with this hand, and then we're going to come down and your finger's right here, so you're sledgehammering, and then we're moving it right back up to do a U2 insertion. So again, we'll take it out with the U2, go right into our sledgehammer, right into our U2 insertion. And that's the right hand version. The left hand version is if you place, so here's our dot, here's our square, here's our oriented corner, so we're going to start with the opposite. And this, I always do the left hand version since my U2s are better on my right. So I'll take this pair out, sledgehammer, right into another insertion. So take it out, sledgehammer, insert. Take it out, sledgehammer, insert. Relatively easy case. And case number 35 at speed. So here's our dot, dot. The next case we're going to cover is 9 and 10 from the Speed Solving Wiki, and this one actually has 2. It's got a left and a right hand version of it, but conceptually they're the same thing. And this is where you have not quite the square, you have a J case or an L case, and one oriented corner. And what we're going to do is, this is very, very similar to the previous case we just talked about, where you take it out with U2, sledge, and insert it with U2. For this one, we're going to take it out with the first part of Sune. So the first part of Sune is you take it out with a single U move and move it to the back. So in essence, you're moving it to the same position, but instead of doing a U2 to take it out, you're taking it out with a single move and just moving it over. So it's the first part of Sune, and so we'll take it out with a single move and move it over to the back, then we'll sledgehammer, and then we'll insert it with a U2. So it's almost exactly the same as the last one, but instead of taking it out with a U2, we're going to take it out with a single move and then just move it over to the back, and then sledge, and then reinsert. And how you orient this one is you place your J or L facing towards you, and then you put your corner piece in the back along with your bar. So if your bar was on this side, then you'll put your bar here and then your corner piece. But in this case, here's our corner piece and then here's our bar. So we're going to put our bar here and our corner piece here. And we're going to start taking out on the edge on the same row as the corner piece. So here's our pair, here's our corner piece, so we're going to start with this pair. So we're going to take this pair out, move it to the back, sledgehammer, and then reinsert this with the U2. And that will solve that case. So again, we'll take it out, move it over, sledgehammer, and then insert this with the U2. And how you would do the finger movements on this one is, when you're taking this pair out, take it out with a push with the other hand. So you take it out, push, move it over. So that's the first part of Sune, and that's how I execute the first part of Sune. You take it out and push it over, and then you're sledgehammering right here, so you're just going to double cock your finger to sledgehammer and then go right into your U2. So it's very similar to what we just did, where we take this pair out, push it out of the way, move it over, sledgehammer, and then reinsert. And at speed, bars at the back. Another way to solve this case, and this is actually the way I prefer to solve this case, is we're going to do something very similar to when we're solving one of our C cases. And you can reference the video for the C cases, I'll put a link in the description below, but basically what we do is we take out this back right pair, so we orient it like this, so your bar is facing, and then here's our bar here, and then we take out this back right pair, we sledgehammer this pair, and then we reinsert this to solve. We're doing something very similar to that, and all that's doing is taking that back right pair out, sledgehammer, and then reinsert. Well, we're just going to do another RUR prime in the middle of that. So we'll take this back pair out, do our RUR prime. So basically all we're doing is we're taking this pair out and then fixing it across and then moving it over one and then orienting it again. So putting it back in the spot. So all we're doing is reorienting some pieces. So it's the same as our C case, but we're taking this back pair out. We're going to fix our cross, move it over, and then break our cross and put it back. So we're just reorienting some pieces. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a sledgehammer and then reinsert. We'll solve this case. And for that we have to orient it like this. And then we're going to take this back right pair out, fix our cross, move it over, break our cross, move it back to where it was. Now sledgehammer and insert, and that will solve this case. So what we're doing is we're taking this back right pair out and putting it here with a the beginning of a Sune. So normally you would take it out and move it over. We're just doing it from this angle. So we're going to take this pair out, move it over, and then put this here by using this slot. So move this back up, move it over, and then we're going to sledgehammer and then insert, and that'll solve our case. So here's our back right pair, and then sledgehammer, and then solve. So it's just like the C case, but we throw out an extra RUR prime in the middle of it. So here's the beginning of our C case, and then we throw in a RU prime, R prime, then put this back to where it was, and then sledgehammer like we normally would, and then reinsert. So again, what we're doing is we're taking this back right pair out, we're going to fix our cross and move it over, and then we're going to put this back here by using this slot. So we're going to re-break it up, move it over, and then we're going to sledgehammer and then reinsert this. So again, take this pair out, move it over, move it back, sledgehammer, insert. So take it out, move it over, put it back, sledgehammer, reinsert. Take it out, move it over, put it back, sledgehammer, reinsert. And this solves this case in this orientation. So the left hand, this is the right hand version, but there's also a left hand version to it. So you would put your L in the back and then your corner piece towards you. So it would be on this side. So it would be like this, but then these two bars here would be on this side here. And we're going to start taking the pair out on your island piece. So here's your L or J, so this is kind of a stranded island piece. We're going to start with our pair underneath our island piece. So we'll take this pair out, move it over, put it back, sledgehammer this pair, and then reinsert that. So how we finger trick this one is we're going to regrip here, take this back pair out, fix, move it over, and then we're just going to double cock our finger here, or you can try to sledgehammer with your middle finger. But this thumb, we're not actually doing our thumb. We're going to sledgehammer and then pull down with this finger here, just like in the C case, and then move over. So again, we'll regrip, and the front is a little goofy at first, but once you get it, it seems to flow well. So take it out, move it over, and you orient it like this, take it out, and that will solve that case. And that's the one that I prefer to use. I think it just flows a little nicer, but you can also use the other one since it's so similar to the other square or the other fish case where you just take it out with a U2 sledgehammer and insert it with a U2, well, it's very, very similar to that case where you just take it out with a wand, move it over a sledgehammer, and then insert it with a U2. So they're very, very similar, so it's easier to remember, I think, but the way that I prefer to execute that alg is by removing the back pair, moving it over, putting it back, and then sledgehammering, and then inserting. And you can do that one pretty quick. And at speed. That's it for the fish cases. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. The next set of cases we're going to do are they're called awkward shapes, where you have kind of a lightning bolt plus a additional oriented corner. And I don't like the word awkward shape, so the title of the video will be awkward shapes, but we're going to call these as super lightning bolt cases because they're just the lightning bolt cases with an additional corner oriented. And there are 2 of these. They're pretty fun to do. They're easy to recognize and easy to solve. So that will be in the next video. Until then, happy cubing!